In the summer of 2024, something began in the Pacific Northwest. At first, it looked like a series of targeted leaks. Private lives exposed, careers ended, families fractured. Then came the bodies and the symbol. June 2024, Portland. A hedge fund manager, accused of market manipulation that destroyed pension funds, receives anonymous incriminating packets, real emails, real wire transfers. His wife leaves. His board ousts him. Days later, he confesses on a live stream, then jumps from his office. Police find the scythe glyph etched into his desk. No prints, no DNA, no demands. Over the next months, the pattern repeats. A hospital administrator who suppressed safety reports, exposed, disgraced, dead. A tech CEO who sold user data, leaked, abandoned, suicide. Each time, real evidence, never fabricated. Each time, the glyph. Media dubbed him the Scythe Killer. The public shortened it to the Reaper. The name fit. It felt inevitable. By early 2025, the Reaper was no longer a mystery. He was a phenomenon. Forums dissected his targets. Everyone had wielded power, caused measurable harm, and escaped accountability. He never spoke publicly. No manifesto, no videos. Yet his actions spoke clearly. Expose the corrupt, force confession, leave the glyph. Fatalities remained low, only when targets resisted or during the final act, but the psychological devastation was total. Communities polarized. Protests formed outside courthouses. Reaper for president, signs next to Stop the Reaper vigils. Law enforcement increased protection for high-profile figures. Private security boomed, and still, the leaks kept coming. December 2025. A corrupt district attorney, rumored to have ignored Reaper leads for political gain, is sent her packet, but it never reaches her. A shadowy figure, dark suit, reflective visor, intercepts the courier. Evidence vanishes. The DA survives. Weeks later, a podcaster monetizing Reaper theories loses his entire archive midstream. His followers' devices brick simultaneously. The pattern emerges. Whenever the Reaper's exposure nears completion, something stops it. A new glyph appears, a shattered chain, white against the Reaper's red scythe. Online, they called him the Phantom. His agenda seemed broader. Suppress disorder, protect order, even if it meant erasing truth. By mid-2026, the Phantom was no longer a rumor. He thwarted 5 Reaper plots in 6 months. Each time, evidence intercepted, amplifiers silenced, targets left alive but isolated. He left no manifesto either, but his actions spoke. A tabloid editor's servers wiped after sensational Reaper coverage. A subreddit shut down after organizing Reaper support groups. A whistleblower's hard drive destroyed before it could expose a cover-up the Reaper was targeting. To some, he was the necessary counterbalance. Order against chaos. An obstruction against unchecked vigilantism. To others, he was worse. A censor in a mask, enforcing silence under the guise of protection. As the Phantom's shattered chain glyph became as recognizable as the Reaper's scythe, the public debate ignited. Identities became obsession. Facts emerged, then crumbled. For the Reaper, early leaks suggested a disgraced intelligence analyst, burned by a corrupt boss. He knows too much, one anonymous post claimed, citing hacked agency files. But counterclaims surfaced. That's misinformation. He's a victim of his first target, faked his death. Forums split. One camp clung to the rogue agent theory, the other dismissed it as planted by the Phantom, pointing to doctored timestamps. for the Phantom. Whispers of a tech billionaire's enforcer using AI to predict and erase. Look at the glitches. It's corporate code, a whistleblower email alleged. Challenged immediately. No, he's government. DARPA Black Ops, suppressing the truth the Reaper exposes. Evidence volleyed. Leaked patents for visor tech. Camps hardened. He's saving us from anarchy versus he's the real tyrant. People chose sides, not on facts, but on fear or rage. Misinformation fed the divide. Easier to pick a camp than sift the lies. The truth, buried deeper with every post. October 2026, Seattle. A pharmaceutical executive, accused of suppressing overdose data, is cornered by the Reaper on a rooftop. The Reaper's scythe extends, then a shadow moves. The Phantom emerges, visor glowing, suit dripping rain. No words. They clash. The executive flees. The rooftop becomes a war zone. Glass shatters, metal groans. Collateral damage mounts. Nearby power grid flickers. Several cars crash below. A fire starts in an adjacent building. Then, silence. Both vanish. No bodies, no arrests. The executive survives, traumatized, silent. The city is left with wreckage, questions, and glyphs. They vanished that night, but the city still watches the shadows. And the question lingers. When resentment and fear collide in masks, what emerges next?